Today we're going to be flying the TBM900 in the backcountry of British Columbia. This should be pretty exciting, and I'm not really sure if we should be doing this, but it's on a simulator. So here we go.
On the 99th floor of my block, and I sit at home looking out the window, imagining the world has stopped. Then it flies the guy who's all dressed up like a Union Jack. Says I want 5 pounds if I have this kind of detergent pack. Said, hey, hey, you, get off of my cloud. Hey, hey, you, get off of my cloud. Hey, hey, you, get off of my cloud.
All right, welcome aboard, everybody, in the TBM900 here up at Macmel Fisheries in British Columbia. Turn our battery on here, put the generator to main, turn our nav light on, wait for our systems to boot up. Yeah, pretty exciting. I've never been able to fly up in British Columbia in real life, so getting to take the TBM900 up here today is going to be pretty exciting. We're going to be taking off out of Macmel Fisheries. It was this little airstrip was made 22 years ago by a bunch of researchers to study the nearby water levels. It was only used for 6 months, and it's been abandoned ever since. The runway is 2,952 feet long, so it's pretty short. So we'll push this button, get our systems all up and run here. And looking good. So we're going to commence the start here. We're going to be doing a battery start, and we are showing 25.9 on the battery. So we're good to go. So we're going to come up here, turn the strobe light on. We're going to put the ignition on, fuel boost pump on. Come on down here. Make sure everything looks good. Now we're just going to click up on the start and hold just for about 2 seconds. 1,000, 2, release. Now we're going to see our start cycle here. Watching the NG rise up. It's going to stabilize right at 16.4. We'll introduce fuel to low idle. There we go. Now we're going to watch for our light off. Watching the NG for a hung start. The ITT right here for a hot start. Everything's looking good. Looks like the ITT is going to temp out at 697, I believe it was there. The NG is going to continue its rise up here. Good start. Going to come up here. Ignition to auto. Boost pump to auto. Fuel selector to auto. Turn on our autopilot trims all set. We're going to come up and go up over the gate here. And we'll also get ready to turn our bleed on. And we'll turn our AC on. Make sure our parking brake is set here. And it is. Inertial separator on. 30 seconds or so, we'll get our master caution along with the annunciator panel showing that the inertial separator is on. Turn our panel lights on here. Illuminates all the different switches and stuff a little bit better. And one more crucial step, come down here to the Bose A20. And this is pretty amazing. When you put this on and you click on it, it actually mutes the sound of the cabin just as it would in real life. So listen to the difference here. There we go. So our A20 is on. So one thing we're going to do before we get all set up for takeoff is we're going to make sure all our trims are all set. So here's our elevator trim. We're going to dial that down to the green. Our rudder trim. Put that in the green. Airline trim is set up. We're going to come down, also put our first notch of flaps in for takeoff. Right down here selected. And also indicating. Alright, so with this runway, it is pretty short. And we've got some mountains all around here. If you look down at the iPad, you're going to see there we are, and there's the runway right there. So we're going to depart out to the west here until we get above, looks like 6,500 is those mountain ranges right over there to the south. And then we're going to climb on down on our route, which is shown right here. And this is some user waypoints I put in here on ForeFlight to get us into the destination that we're going to be going to Quantum River Airport. And I'll tell you more about Quantum River as we get closer down to it. You take a look outside the airport here, you're going to see we're creating quite a dust storm. This is first time I've ever taken a TBM off unimproved airport landing strips. There's no limitation saying we can't do it in real life, so I don't know if I would really attempt to do this in real life, but you know, today we're in a simulator, so it should be a lot of fun. You can see over to the left over there, got the Macmillan fisheries, the old abandoned structures that they left behind 22 years ago. Alright, so we're going to come up here, we're going to turn on the landing light, put that right on, we got our nav light and strobe lights on, and we'll release the parking brake down here and we'll be on our way. Got our inertial separator on, which is good because being in an unimproved airport like this, we'd be kicking up lots of FOD that could get into that intake. And I'm going to hold back on the yoke here a little bit, as you can see, to keep the weight off the nose wheel. So we'll pull back on the yoke right here, and because there's not a lot of prop clearance at the front between the ground and the prop on the TBM. Macmillan, get a TBM, we're going to be backtracking the runway and we depart to the west, Macmillan traffic. There's an old boat too, right over here. Back in the day. And I don't hear any other traffic on the flight sim here. We're flying on VAT sim today. I really highly doubt anybody would be back here because we're in the middle of nowhere. So here we are on the runway. So what we're going to do is go into heading mode for this departure. So right here, heading mode. Now what we're going to come down is to get the command bars at 10 degrees, we're just going to tap on the throttle here on the go-around button. So you tap that, and it sets your flight director right up to 10 degrees. Beautiful area of British Columbia. Hope you guys got your bear spray on you if you were walking around here. It looks like a pretty desolate area. And a lot of berry bushes off to the left there. That's where the bears usually like to eat. So we'll keep an eye out for them. So we're going to go as far back as we can on this runway to get a good run up. The runway is 2,952 feet long, so we do have plenty of runway for a TBM. Got a little patch of grass here. I'm looking in there, make sure there's no stumps or anything in there. Looks pretty good, looks like it's just grass. We're gonna come down here and get ready for our departure. Turn our heats on, and we're good to go. Now this is looking pretty tricky here. I don't know how much farther we want to go back here. We're going to go exterior view, and we'll do a U-turn right in here, because any farther back in there, I don't think we would make it. This is tight. This is one nice thing about having the exterior view on Flight Sim compared to real life. We'd just be kind of guessing where to go. There we go. Nice sharp turn. Get lined back up. Come to a complete stop here. Alright, so here we go. Looks like we're lined up as good as we're going to get here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to ease the power. See the prop RPM there? We're going to ease that up. We're going to hold the brakes. It's on the prop RPM. Takeoff power set. And we are off. And off we go. A little bit of a squirrely there with the rudder pedals, but that's just sim stuff for you. So we're watching for a rotation speed. Looking good. Well, temperature pressure's all good in the green. There's a rotation speed. And we're going to go gear up. Wow. That was pretty tight. Watching the gear handle here, it's blinking red. Gear on safe light is still on. And there we go. Gear is up. And we're looking good on our heading. We'll go flaps up. And yaw damper on. And actually we'll go autopilot on, and we're going to climb in flight level change mode. We'll take a look at the outside view. Man, I love that view. So since we're in flight level change mode, set for 128 knots is what when we activated the flight level change mode right here. It was at 128, so that's a good speed. We can climb out at that. Check our pressurization, even though we're not going that high. We have a cabin altitude of 600 feet. Differential pressure of 1.2. Take a look off the left wing there. You see, that's the mountains that we're going to have to clear, so we can pick a spot to go up and get on course. So we're looking pretty good. We're in heading mode. We'll start our turn over here to the left to get on course. There's the airport down there behind us. Quantum River, here we come. And we're on the torque, we're at 77, so we can still advance that. Get some more power out of this. And we can also turn the inertial separator off. Come down here by our left knee, turn that in 30 seconds. You'll get this light come off. Now you're going to see torque increase. So let's watch the torque increase, and you're going to get an ITT drop with that with the scoops opening up with the inertial separator. So see, you're going to see the ITT coming down here, and you're going to see the torque right here rise in the process of that inertial separator opening up. Come down to the map here. We'll expand that. I guess I could have put a user point in the computer system here, so you could see on the MFD where we were going, but I have it here on ForeFlight. We'll take a look. So here's the airplane's leveling out at 9,500 feet. It's gonna plane out, build up some speed, and we'll be good to go. Beautiful view of the mountains out there. This is X-Plane 11. I'm really excited for the new Microsoft Flight Simulator that'll be coming out later this year. But look at the view of those mountains. You come down here and look at ForeFlight, the iPad, you'll see that's where we just took off. Now we want to get on course. Click on the first waypoint I have set up. Go direct to. Now it's showing us, we'll turn over there to the left. So yeah, if you guys enjoy these videos, be sure to smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. Still currently here in quarantine, and hopefully things will get back sooner than later to somewhat normal. So yeah, where we're going to go into is Quantum River Airport. It's a hub for forest workers, and it's still active today. It's really busy with a lot of different forest workers clearing out the valley with the trees and stuff. The runway is 2,500 feet long, so shorter than the runway we took off on, so we got to be very careful on this landing. Also, one thing that is in the notes of this airport is due to all the forest activity with the different forest workers, they will sometimes use this runway to put their logs on, utilize it with their vehicles. So they actually advise you to do a low flyover, a low pass over the airport to let the forest workers know that we will be coming into land. As airplanes only come into land every couple days at this airport, so it's not really used by airplanes that much, but the forest workers will utilize this runway for their operational needs, so we got to look out for that when we come into land. And also because the terrain around the airport, along with the different trees, we have to come in from the west to land, so we'll be landing on the western runway. It's advised to be able to utilize that. We're currently burning 75 gallons an hour. So we're looking good down here. If you look at the fuel gauges, we're about 100 gallons, and we're burning 75 gallons per hour. And the reason why we're burning more than normal is we're staying pretty low due to the fact that this flight is not very long. Our cabin altitude for pressurization in here is 2,300 feet, and it's a differential pressure at 3.2. So this is the type of flight I would never attempt this in real life, if it was my own personal TBM, coming in on these type of strips. Personally, I would want to just take a little bit better care and choosing a more appropriate airplane for a flight like this. But that's what's fun about flight sim is, get out and do things like this that you would not normally do in real life. If we were going up higher, this is up on the overhead where you would turn your oxygen on. Let's turn it on. You hear the little that comes on. But since we're staying low today, we won't really need to worry about that oxygen. So what I did here, down here by Stewart Island, I put in some user points to be able to navigate those little mountains there to get us into our Quantum River Airport, which is right there. So yeah, with this quarantine going on, Flight Sim has really been a great way to keep the skills sharp. Today, we're not really doing any IFR procedures, just, some mountain flying on a nice VFR day. If you guys are thinking about becoming a pilot and you think this looks fun, going online has never been a better time. My friend Jason Shappert runs an online ground school, m0a.com. It's linked in the description below. Go down, check it out, help guide you through getting all your ratings. And like I said, a lot of flight schools are closed down right now, so it's not a bad time to take your learning online. We'll go take a look in the back here real quick. I know we're single pilot, we shouldn't get up off the controls, but you know, I want to go check out the school airplane. It's got the black leather with the red pinstriping. It's pretty cool. Take the tray table out. Carbon fiber. How about that? Not bad. Put that away. Nice. Alright, we gotta get back up here and take care of business. Now, in real life, you would never want to do that. PIC, you're stuck at the controls. There we go, back in our seat to enjoy the view. So with that in mind, looking at the charts, it looks like we can go right on down to 7,500 feet. Gets a little lower. So we're descending on down in. I don't know if we'll get any thermals of any of the wind. We're using real world weather. You sometimes probably get some thermals off these different mountain tops and the ridges. The wind swirling around, but so far it's been nice and smooth. That was 1,000 feet to go. We're leveling out at 7,500 feet. So the one thing, if you take a look around, guys, the one thing I think about, and I would think about in real life as well, is what would we do if we had an engine failure right here? As you can see, I would be, first of all, feathering that prop as fast as I can to get the best glide out of this thing. And I would honestly, what I would be looking for is to put it down on like a body of water. I'd be shooting down over there, you know, like right into that along the shoreline. Because in the mountains like this, you're not going to have very many good spots to be able to set it down. And if you were to try to put it down these mountain tops ranges, it would not be pretty. What would you guys do? I don't know. The water would be my opinion in the mountains like this. Quantum River Airport. We'll see if the forest workers will be working out today on the runway and stuff. We'll make some announcements. I'm on BATSIM 22.8 with all the uncontrolled airfields. That's what they use. So we'll turn the inertial separator back on. So right down here by our left knee, flip that switch. Now 30 seconds or so, we'll see the inertial separator light on right here on the CAS. I wouldn't lie if I said I was not a little bit nervous coming into land at this airport. Well, you know, like 2,500 feet long, very narrow, and we'll see how this goes. And there's our inertial separator on. Came on after we flipped that switch down there. So on this landing, as we know, there's going to be some forest workers most likely working out around the airport. We're going to actually come up here and put our pulsating landing light on. Flip that switch to on. Now if we go to the outside, you're going to see, now that we're outside, the landing light is in the pulsating landing light mode. Anybody that's down on the ground out there should hopefully see us coming a little bit better. Wow, look at the beauty. Beautiful area. So up ahead there, you can see that's going to be our valley that we're going to be descending down into. So putting in those user waypoints has been pretty helpful with me to see where exactly we're going to be going to get in there. If you match up the approach plate here, or, you know, the sectional, to what we see out the window, we can start down. So we're going to come right down here, autopilot disconnect on the left side of the yoke. We're going to hit that, and now we can hand fly the rest of the way in. Turn the flight director off. Won't be using that anymore. If you're not utilizing it, there's no point having it up and just being a distraction. So we're going to start hand flying it down in here. So what we're looking for is our first turn to get us into the our airport. That's just our altitude alerter. We'll just put that up 9,500, get that out of the way. Like I said, if you're not utilizing something, just, you know, get it out of the way. It's not beeping at you then, or like if I'm not using the flight director, there's no point having it up to distract you. So the first pass that we're going to do, we'll just go flaps to the takeoff position, just so we can utilize a little bit more slower airspeed, and we're going to do a low pass over this airport. We'll make one announcement here as we're coming in, our first one, to give any traffic in the area that might be here, let them know we're coming in. Quantum River, you have a TBM. We're 14 miles to the west, northwest. We're going to be flying the runway, low pass, and then right traffic, inbound to land. Quantum River. See, this is where we have to be careful that we make the right decision on what pass and what area we're going in to get into this airport. We look down here, we want to make sure we kind of follow our flight plan that we had all briefed up, that I briefed before this flight. So we're going to go a little bit over here to the right. This way we don't get into trouble. This is a very unfamiliar area for me. And if we go down the wrong valley, I mean, that could be a bad choice if there's no out. And we get too low. Look off the right side there, you'll see we're just to beam the tops of these hills. Alright, so we look back down at the iPad here. This is where I've got it marked. Right around this peak here was where we'll start to go left. So we can go right on down this direction over here. And this will keep us on the next turn not so tight.
Landing gear.
I pulled the power all the way back. That goes off if you don't have your landing gear down. So just advance it a little bit. So there we go. This is the little gap I want to hit right here. And we're under our first notch of flap setting here for the speed. So we're going to come on down and go first notch of flaps. Selected. I'll also make sure indicating and indicating. So this is tight. I mean, guys, remember, this is my first time coming in here, so I just downloaded all this scenery from Prop Strike Studio, and the airport that we took off out of is actually free on their website. He also has a tail dragger airplane that he has designed that you can download for free. This airport here that I paid for, I think it was like $28, but, you know, for him to be able to give out free scenery, you know, I don't mind spending some money to help out a developer. But I think it's pretty cool stuff he's putting out. So yeah, check out Prop Strike Studio if you guys want to download the scenery. So now we got to look for our airport. It's going to be over there to our left as we round this bend. And we'll keep it coming down here. We're going to have to do right traffic because I think there's the mountain right to the northeast of the airport runway. And we come down here, see how far away we are. We're about 4 miles, so we'll make another announcement. Quantum River, TBM, we're 4 mile right base for the eastern runway.
Terrain ahead.
Quantum River. So we're looking for the runway here.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
So what we're going to come down here is inhibit. There we go. I inhibited that. Now we don't have to worry about getting yelled at so much. You just come down here, you hit enter, go to inhibit. That'll get rid of all those warnings that we had to deal with. Alright, so do you guys see this runway? It should be right out in front of us. Somewhere here. We gotta really make sure we look for what we need to look for with all this equipment that could be on the runway. It's only 2,500 foot long runway, so it's very short. I think I see a building over there right at our 1 o'clock. So look at this. I think I got the runway in sight here. This is why we're going to have to do right traffic, because there's no way we could do left. Now tell me if you guys see any equipment on this runway. Man, we're going to have to do a tight turn in here to get back to this runway. So there's our airport. Oh my goodness. Guys, I can't believe we're going to try to attempt and land there. And the runway looks clear. I don't see anything on the runway, do you? No, I don't. So that's our runway. That's what we have to deal with. So now we got to get out of this valley here. I don't know if we were meant to do this in a TBM. But we'll do a U-turn here and come back into land. Wow, this is nuts. I don't know if I would really want to do this in real life. This is too tight for me. We're going to do a steep turn here. I'll get over here to the left as far as we can go. Here we go. We'll do our turn right after we get past this next little outcropping of trees. It looks like it's a little bit wider right there. Alright, we'll be alright with this. I feel a little bit better right here. So here we go. A nice steep turn to the right. This is what you practice all your practice and training. Oh, we had plenty of space. Nice steep turn. Okay, so now we gotta come into land. There's our runway right down there. We'll get down a little bit slower here. Slow it up.
Landing gear.
And we'll put the landing gear down. Landing gear selected. And indicating. And we can actually go full flaps. Flap selected. We're also going to look right here and make sure it indicates. I don't know, I'm a little nervous about coming into this airport. And the flaps are indicating. Alright, so we're going to pitch for 85 knots. I mean, if the forest workers didn't hear us coming in over that runway, I don't know what they were doing. But it's known that they will put stuff on that runway. We're going to slow it up. It's a good thing we inhibited all that terrain because we'd be getting yelled at this whole time. Looking good on the speed. Quantum River, TBM, or turn and right base for the eastern runway, Quantum River. Looking good. So we'll just extend out here to give us a little more time to play with, to adjust for landing on this runway. Man, it is beautiful. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like flying here in real life. We're going to come down. We'll pull the power all the way back to flight idle. We got to get down. We're still a little high, I believe, here. Looking at that last angle. Alright, there's our runway right out there in front of us. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Looking in good on our speed, 85 knots. There's our runway. We went a little bit to the left of center line here. We got to get lined up perfect though, because this is narrow. There we go. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good on the speed. A little bit slow, but that's okay. Just drag it on in real nice. Go to flight idle. Go back to the flare here. Here we go, touchdown. Go back into reverse. Wow, we're holding back on the yoke. Keep that pressure off the nose wheel, and there we go. We didn't even use up half the runway. Welcome to Quantum River. Wow, that was exciting. So we'll do a U-turn here. Just gotta make sure we don't clip any trees with the wingtips here. Ooh, came close on that one. That right wing came pretty close. So there we go. Clean up the plane here. Welcome to Quantum River. That was exciting. I don't know, maybe the loggers took a day off or something. Keep our inertial separated on, of course, because if you look at this runway, it is not the best of condition. Get our trims readjusted for next time we decide to go skyward. Actually, we didn't use up hardly any of the runway. I mean, that was really impressive. I mean, I dragged it in as slow as you'd want to go. So look at this. Let's see if the logger guys are working. Looks like we got some containers off to the right here. And look, it looks like they got a... Yeah, look there, you got one of the graders. Or the, what do you call it? The construction equipment. He's actually doing something over there. There's our windsock, little helicopter pad here. So yeah, look, he's actually working on some brush over there to the right. Yeah, look at it over to the right. He's actually working on some of the brush. Let's see, I think we should just park right up in here. This is a really cool airport. So anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoyed riding along with me today in X-Plane 11 and the TBM900. If you did like that video, be sure to smash the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And we'll get back to some real-world flight videos here someday soon. But while we're in quarantine, it's fun to make use of the flight sim. Look, they got two guys. They got a guy over here working on some pipes too, some culvert drainage. So we'll park it right here and call it a day. All right, park and brake is on. We'll shut this thing down. All right, guys. Hope you're all doing well. We'll talk to you again someday soon.